Hannah and Cailin, back again with Double Talk. I'm Hannah. And I'm Cailin, and we're at Sardi's in New York City for the all-nighter press day.
You've seen Julia Lester on stage, on screen, and on stage, on screen. And now you get to see her share the stage with Kristine Froseth, Havana Rose Lou, Alyah Channelle Scott, and Kathryn Gallagher. Running through the spring at the Newman Mills Theatre at the Robert W. Wilson MCC Theatre Space, All-Nighter follows a tight-knit group of roommates as they pull one last all-nighter to complete their final assignments. We caught up with Julia, who plays Wilma at the play's press day at Sardi's. Listen in.
In honor of all-nighter, can you tell us about your own personal, most memorable all-nighter?
I pulled an all-nighter by myself in my house the first time my parents ever left on like a work trip, and I was like alone. And I think I like stayed up all night and watched movies, and then ended the night with McDonald's breakfast.
Ooh, as the sun was coming up?
As the sun was coming up. Like a
Hell
hash
yeah.
brown at 6 a.m. There is nothing like it, you know? And then I slept all day, and honestly, I felt pretty reckless and rebellious,
That's
you know?
like the most peaceful sleep you'll ever have,
Yeah.
too. It really is.
Deepest sleep, craziest dreams.
Yeah.
Loved it.
It's like Benadryl sleep.
Exactly.
The Hat Man shows up.
I love to sleep. I really do.
What's the experience performing on stage versus on screen?
It's electric because you get that immediate audience reaction that you don't get when you're working on something that is going to come out on TV or on film. And so it's really fun that every single night we get a new group of people coming in and celebrating us, and we get their immediate response to the show right then and there. And it just sort of like, it's like a boost of adrenaline. It's like it's its own, like, theater is like its own personal like steroid almost. Like it fills you with the most excitement, adrenaline, electricity. There's nothing like it. You can't get that from TV and film.
That's so true, because TV and film, you have to wait for it to come out, and then even then, like, you don't see the audience like physically reacting in front of you. That's so interesting. I never thought of that way before. I love the poster because it reminds me of some of my personal most memorable all-nighters in college. Like, it wasn't like it wasn't like going out a lot of times. It was just sitting around the lounge table and chat and like talking to friends. Yeah, it can be so memorable.
Yeah.
Tell me about the dynamic between this group of roommates and what they kind of bring out in each other over the course of the all-nighter.
Yeah, I mean, this dynamic of girls is, I sort of float in and out as like a fifth wheel, like special guest friend in the show. But these four girls are college roommates and best friends and basically sisters at this point. And so it's really beautiful that like I personally in high school, I had a group of me and four other girls that were like my all-nighter girls. And so I know what that dynamic feels like and how authentically it's written in this show and how authentically we're portraying it, and just the sort of like sisterhood that comes with being in a contained environment like college. And yeah, the stakes are really high. I mean, they're about to like enter the real world, as we call it in the show, and it's a pretty scary, vulnerable place, and so there's a lot of feelings that definitely get brought up throughout the night as it goes on.
Yeah, there's really nothing like that feeling in college where it's like your entire world is like on a couple blocks.
Yeah,
it's so crazy. It's like, I mean, I haven't experienced anything like it since.
Yeah.
And I think there's something like The Breakfast Club is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
And I think there's something to stories that take place like in one central location, because I think that it does something to the way you get to know the characters.
100%.
How does that relate to the show?
Yeah, I mean, well, like you said, like a small contained environment with very relatable characters is like my favorite kind of theater and media just in general. Like if people are just gonna sit around and talk, especially when it's brilliant dialogue written by Natalie Margolin specifically in this show, that is my favorite kind of thing to watch. And so it's really cool that we get to sort of like really authentically tell this story of girls chatting and where those conversations go and how they lead to conflict and fun and intrigue and twists and turns, and it flows so naturally and so beautifully that the audience is on the edge of their seat by sentence one, because they really don't know what's going to happen.